Hey everyone, welcome to One Awesome Autistic. Going to be talking about something that is slightly different because it's not necessarily just exclusive to autistic people. And I wanted to talk about spoon theory because I've been struggling a lot recently with my energy levels, and spoon theory and how it's been adapted has been quite helpful for me personally. So I'm going to tell you what spoon theory is, how it came about, how it can be adapted, and all that good stuff. Spoon theory first came about from an article from a woman who suffers with lupus, and her friend was asking her how she deals with basically being hurt every day. Off the cuff, the first thing that was nearby was some spoons. So she uses spoons to represent energy and was showing her friend how she has to think about every action she does in a day because every single little thing takes away energy. Somebody without her condition might not necessarily think about. And I'll link the article in the description below because it's a very, very good read. And actually, even though I'd heard of spoon theory for quite some time, I actually only read the original article recently. And it makes for an interesting read because spoon theory has adapted since that article, and it's kind of a little bit like Chinese whispers. People know about it, they tell other people about it, who then tell other people about it, and it kind of gets twisted a little bit and changed a little bit. My knowledge of spoon theory was changed slightly when I read the article and my kind of thoughts about it. The basic premise of it is that if you live with a disability, you have a limited amount of energy. And this energy is represented by spoons. So every little task that you do in a day takes up spoons. Even the simplest little things like getting yourself out of bed, that will take up a spoon. Brushing your hair will take up a spoon. Brushing your teeth will take up a spoon. And obviously once you're out of spoons, that means you're out of energy. So you don't have the energy to do any of the tasks. And if you still have things to do in a day, well then what do you do if you have no energy left? Typically this means pushing through and getting those tasks done, but then you're borrowing that energy from the next day. So then you're starting the next day off with less spoons or less energy. A lot of people who have disabilities or conditions that affect their energy won't always have the same amount of energy in a day as well. You can start out some days with more spoons, you can start out some days with a lot less spoons. And other exterior factors will also affect that. So if you didn't have a very good night's sleep, you're automatically going to wake up with less spoons for that day. If you have a cold, you're going to wake up with less spoons for that day because you're ill and it takes more energy to do the tasks that you need to do, so you're not going to be able to get as much done in a day. And obviously this started out as a way to describe what it's like to live with a chronic illness, but it's been adapted by other communities as well, such as autistic people, because we get affected by things and have less energy than other people as well. So we have to think about the tasks we do in a day because certain things are going to overwhelm us and mean that we can't get other things done. It means that we have to take a rest before we can get other tasks done. So we've kind of adapted it to help represent what it feels like to be autistic as well. Being autistic as opposed to having a chronic illness that takes away energy is almost lucky in a way, because some autistic people can kind of earn their spoons back and earn their energy back. So I know for me, if I'm overwhelmed, I have the things that I can do, like hiding myself away, wrapping a blanket around me, keeping myself warm, and listening to podcasts, playing games, and doing that sort of thing for a couple of hours can make me feel rested again, so that I then have the energy or the spoons to get other tasks done that I wouldn't be able to do if I didn't give myself that bit of out time. But sometimes as an autistic person it can be hard to know when you are pushing yourself too far until it's too late and causes a meltdown. So this is where using spoon theory and adapting it and using it as a visual aid can be actually quite helpful. You can do things like actually get some spoons, wooden spoons. You can put numbers on them for how much energy it represents, even if it's, or just each spoon can represent one energy. You put it in a pot. When you do a task in a day that takes up energy, you take out the amount of spoons it's taken up. If you do something that rests and relaxes you and gives you spoons back, you put some spoons back in the pot. But then you know by seeing that pot of spoons, if you've only got 2 spoons left, but you could take a shower and that could take up 1 spoon, but cooking dinner and eating dinner may take up the 2 spoons. So you'd have to make a choice between whether you want to cook something and eat, which it might be more necessary than taking a shower, and the shower could be put off until the next day. Or you can cook and eat something and do something that relaxes you to earn a spoon or 2 back and maybe have enough energy to take that shower. Or you can adapt it into a chart, like an organisational chart. So when you are planning out your day, you can assign how many spoons it's going to take to do each task. So your small things like getting out of bed is going to be 1 spoon, brushing your teeth is going to be 1 spoon, getting dressed is going to be 1 spoon. But obviously doing a full day of work is not going to take up 1 spoon. That could be 5 or 6 spoons. And then you need to kind of work out how many spoons you actually have in a day. You don't have to do this straight away, you can always try and error it. So you could start out with 15 spoons, but if you're tired before you're using up your 15 spoons, then obviously you don't have as much energy as that in a day. Bring it down to 10 and then see how that goes, and only use up 10 spoons every day. And in time that just gives you a kind of representation of how much you can get done in a day. So therefore you know what tasks need to get done in a week, so you know what days to assign them to, and it can just give you a little bit more organisation within a week. Obviously if you have the time and you know ways that you can earn spoons back, then also factor those into the days as well. All in all, spoon theory was just a way to visually show somebody who doesn't know firsthand what it is like to live with a chronic illness, on what it actually feels like and how we have to think about every single little task we do in a day, because there's always compromise. But it's kind of evolved into its own little saying. So next time you hear somebody say that, like, I've run out of spoons for the day, or I don't have enough spoons to do the task, that the fun thing that you want to do together, then be kind, be supportive of that person, and understand that they really don't have the energy left, and trying to push through and trying to do what you want to do when they don't have enough energy is really going to have a negative effect on their health. So be supportive of that person in your life. And that's it from me today, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.